Michigan is not the focal point of some of the bigger issues of the Connor Stallions saga. But we'll get into that as the show goes on.
Yeah, and why don't we start with the Trevor McHugh story? Trevor McHugh from Maize and Blue Review on 3, talking about the notice of allegations that Central Michigan had received from the NCAA. Now, quick fun fact, they are going through, they say, a negotiated resolution with the NCAA, but what's more important about this document and about the release is what was said about the Connor Stallions at CMU issue. So essentially, their investigation started a little after Michigan's, and there were multiple delays for long periods, essentially because no one was talking. So they did get their NOA June 27th, and essentially there are no ties involving Michigan in that NOA. And so Trevor went on the boards to essentially say that the only possible theoretical tie-in is the Jim Harbaugh tie-in, which we already said he was probably getting a lifetime ban from college football and make the NCAA feel good. But the bottom line is, folks, it sounds like they're kind of treating the Connor Stallions CMU thing as its own thing, which it just continues to show that it was more of a lone wolf operation, and the CMU thing isn't really going to be as much of a factor as people thought. Buckeye Scoop, you're on notice. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the NCAA has served Central Michigan with a notice of allegations stemming from the Connor Stallions investigation. If you watched our show for the last year, we have been telling you since August that Connor Stallions was invited by Jake Costa, the quarterback coach? Is that the correct coach's name, John?
Jake Costner. Yeah.
Okay, Jake Costner, the quarterback coach. That is who invited Connor Stallions to that sideline, guys. It was not Michigan. He was there on behalf of Central Michigan. We have said that. We've said that for over a year. People have, rivals have doubted that. Well, guess what? Well. Who just got a notice of allegations, John?
CMU.
Because Michigan was not aware of that fucking situation. And that's what these stupid ass Buckeyes fail to realize and have failed to realize. And that's why I'm going to be collecting my money in August. I'm telling you, they're going to take the hardest out in August. That situation that they love to bring up, because that is the only evidence they have that Connor Stallions did any advanced scouting, truthfully, because he was on the sideline. But he was there again on behalf of Central Michigan, invited by Jake Costner, the quarterback coach who was formerly on U of M staff, no longer there, was let go last year. So again, man, another example where Michigan, it does appear, now we don't fully know yet until everything comes to light in the next week or 2 or 3 or 4. But once that comes to light, we'll have a better idea. But it does appear, John, that the NCAA, which you mentioned earlier, is looking at the Central Michigan situation as a separate thing than the actual Michigan situation, because Michigan was not aware, not the coaching staff, not the university, none of it. It's because Connor Stallions was literally working independently on that one. Because why? Because Connor Stallions is the best in the fucking game, bro. So because he has a good relationship with Jay Costner, he invited him over there, and Connor Stallions was like, yeah, sure. I would love to try and take down little brother. Of course he would. So it is what it is. That situation's where it is. And just so, the Buckeyes understand, you do not get team gear unless you have an in. Like, he didn't just dress up and show up on the sideline. He was invited, right? So that is why that is an extremely interesting situation. I think, my opinion, because until it becomes, truly public and official by the NCAA, it is nothing but assumption. But in my opinion, John, this bodes very well for Michigan. It is very good that the NCAA looks at the Central Michigan sideline incident as a separate incident that is involving Central Michigan. So we'll see where it goes, John. Obviously, we'll know more in the coming weeks, but I would say this is a positive for us, and it only shows when you add, and we talked about this before the show, John, I want to hit on this and I'll let you hit it, but when you add that the NCAA has sent a notice of allegations to Central Michigan, and then you add the Tony Petitti letter that all these rivals like, oh, what doesn't mean anything. Conference commissioners, they stand up for their programs all the time when they're going against the NCAA, except the letter had, there's been no additional evidence found. So when you add no additional evidence found, and you add that the NCAA is narrowing on Central Michigan for the Sideline incident, it's looking fucking good, boys. You know what I mean? So the Buckeyes are going to have a very hard August, to me, is what I believe, John. I believe the Buckeyes are going to have a very hard August. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So the last 2 weeks, I've had quite a few Buckeyes on X, Spyro included in this, as he's best friends with the Buckeyes because his team goes 4-8 every year. But essentially, these Buckeyes don't understand how the NCAA bylaws work, because we have said all along that there is one bylaw at question here in the whole matter, 1161 of the NCAA bylaws. In that bylaw, it is written, it's implied that the people scouting, quote unquote, in-person scouting, it needs to be full-time staff. So Connor Stallions being one, okay, I thought that the CMU game was really the only actual evidence
smoking
that
gun.
that 1161 was violated in any way. If they're treating that as a separate matter for CMU, and Michigan didn't know, and they can't prove that Michigan knew, then there is literally no evidence that they have even broken a rule. There is literally no actionable evidence that I see, right, that a rule was violated under my reading, which is you have to be a full-time staff to do the scouting. Because the rule that would have explicitly banned recording in a third-party capacity was rescinded 12 years ago. So that would have been an open and shut case if that was still on the books. Well, yeah, then in that case, you can say Stallion's mom, Stallion's buddies, etc. are third party. And so if there was a ban on that, that's one thing. But that was taken off the books. You can third party record till your heart's content now. So the bottom line is, do I think there's going to be punishment? Yes. Do I think that they're going to be able to find some flimsy ties to? Yes. Do I think that Sharon Moore is going to have to eat a couple of games because he deleted text messages? Yeah. But this, I don't see a huge hammer coming. I still don't. I'm still waiting for the smoking gun 2 years later.
No vacated wins and no bowl bans, and I'm about to make some fucking money on that. So, and when we do our receipt show, which we will, and I'm telling you guys, hey, fans of the community, bookmark your receipts for the show. If you have a premium account, you can even put bookmarks in folders. Let's go, because I will also be publicly calling out the people I have made bets with, because we're gonna be collecting money that night as well, John. So it's been a good time, and this goes both ways. I'm wrong, I'm paying out live on air. We'll pay him out live on air. A Lannister always pays his debts, no problem. I'll pay it. If I'm wrong, I'll pay my debts, but I'm not. So we'll see where it goes, John, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling more optimistic as we get there, but to maybe pause optimism until the NCAA releases what they have. We'll see, but I feel optimistic about it. I do. I think the way things are setting up, leading up to the reveal, things seem to be promising. Not, there hasn't been any leaks that have made me feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
And you're right. Like, we have to wait and see what the actual punishment is. We're still waiting. Right. Hopefully in August we'll find out.
Let's state what we think it is, because I feel we're going to be right. 4 games for Sharon Moore. We think there's going to be a bit large fine. We think there's going to be
8-figure fine. Yep.
Yeah. Show causes for Stallions, Harbaugh, and Chris Partridge. And we think there'll be some form of recruiting restrictions and likely visitations, whether they be official visits or not official visits, but potentially available visit weekends for recruits to visit us. And also, like we saw with the cheeseburger burger gate. There could be some limitations on coaches going to see recruits, maybe like 3-4 weeks, like we saw before. Something like that. That's it. Not vacated wins, not postseason bans, not loss of national titles, none of that shit. So, yeah, and you have my word. You have my word that we're gonna make the rivals never forget this bullshit. I promise that. I might even bring it up every show for the rest of my life. Like I may start the show every fucking time saying, "Hammer coming, hammer coming, hammer coming." I might, and we really do need to buy the inflatable hammers. Like we really need to start that movement. We need to start that movement, John. Swear to God, I am going to have my inflatable hammer in November when we go to when that Ohio State game happens. I will have an inflatable hammer.
I love it. And like we said, we're gonna have a call-in show to discuss this, no matter the outcome. If Michigan has, if Michigan somehow, and again, I don't think any of this is, Buckeye Scoop still thinks it's going to be a vacated wins for 3 years and a title vacated and all of this. If all of that stuff happens, we're going to be on air taking L's.
Yep. L's.
And if the opposite happens and it's barely anything, we're going to be on air reading receipts and taking calls. And that's just how it's going to be no matter what.
Talking mad shit. Mad shit. We're probably gonna create a lot of enemies on that show, but it's okay. Can't say I'm worried about it.
Absolutely. We do have some more super chats and stuff we would definitely want to hit here. Elisha Bowman 199. Thank you for that. Shannon Goodwin's number is now number